It's 3 a.m. The world outside is still, the house is quiet, and yet you're wide awake. You roll over, fluff your pillow, maybe even let out a sigh. You tell yourself, just go back to sleep. But the more you try, the more it feels like sleep is slipping further away. Sound familiar? If it does, you're not alone. Waking up in the middle of the night happens to everyone, but for some of us, especially as we get older, falling back asleep isn't always easy. But here's the good news. It doesn't have to be that way. Tonight, I'm going to show you exactly why this happens, and more importantly, simple, proven ways to guide your body and mind back to restful sleep without frustration, without stress. So the next time you find yourself staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m., you'll know exactly what to do. Let's get started. Why we wake up at night. Now, before we dive into the how of falling back asleep, let's take a minute to understand the why behind waking up in the first place. Believe it or not, waking up in the middle of the night isn't some random fluke. It's actually part of how your body is designed. Here's what's happening. When you first fall asleep, your core body temperature starts to drop. This is your body's way of signaling that it's time to rest. Around 10:30 p.m., it hits its lowest point, and that drop tells your brain to release melatonin, the hormone that helps you stay asleep. But here's the kicker. Around 2 or 3 in the morning, your body temperature starts to rise again. And when that happens, your brain shifts you into a lighter stage of sleep. This is usually when people wake up, even if it's just for a few seconds. Now, most folks don't even realize they've woken up. But for some of us, especially as we get older, falling back asleep isn't as simple as rolling over and shutting our eyes. So the next time you wake up at 2 or 3 a.m., don't worry. It's not because something's wrong. It's just your body doing what it naturally does. But now that you know why it happens, let's talk about what you can do to get back to sleep faster and easier. 1. The number one mistake people make. All right, now that we've talked about why you wake up in the middle of the night, let's dive into the biggest mistake most people make when it happens. Imagine this. You wake up, your room is dark and quiet, and instinctively you reach over and check the clock. It's 3:12 a.m. And suddenly your brain kicks into high gear. If I fall asleep right now, I'll still get about 4 hours before I need to get up. Then a few more minutes pass, you glance at the clock again. 3:27 a.m. Okay, if I sleep now, I'll get 3.5 hours. And just like that, you're not only awake, you're stressed about being awake. Sound familiar? You're not alone. This is the number one mistake most people make when they wake up in the middle of the night, checking the clock. The problem isn't just looking at the time, it's what happens in your mind the moment you do. You start doing mental math, counting down how much sleep you're losing, and worrying about how tired you'll feel in the morning. This kind of anxious thinking activates your brain, making it even harder to fall back asleep. Here's the truth. Sleep and stress don't mix. The more pressure you put on yourself to fall asleep, the more alert your brain becomes, and the more alert you are, the harder it is for your body to relax into sleep. Sleep is kind of like love. The more you chase it, the more it runs away. But when you stop trying so hard and just let go, it tends to show up when you least expect it. So here's your first simple tip. Don't look at the clock. I know, it's tempting. But trust me, turning the clock away or covering it up can make a world of difference. If you use your phone as an alarm, flip it over or put it out of reach so you're not tempted to check it. Why does this work? Because when you stop worrying about the time, you take the pressure off. And when the pressure is off, your body has a much better chance of naturally drifting back to sleep. So tonight, when you wake up, and it will probably happen, resist the urge to glance at the clock. Instead, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and remind yourself, I'll fall back asleep when my body's ready. It's amazing how freeing that mindset can be. 2. What to do instead? So, if checking the clock is the number one mistake, you're probably wondering, what should I do instead when I wake up in the middle of the night? The answer is simple. Help your body relax. The goal isn't to force yourself to fall asleep. That almost never works. Instead, you want to create the right conditions for your body to naturally drift back into rest. And the most powerful tool you have for that, it's something you carry with you everywhere, your breath. Let me introduce you to a simple but incredibly effective technique called 4-7-8 breathing. It's easy to do, takes just a few minutes, and works wonders for calming your mind and lowering your heart rate, both of which are essential for falling back asleep. Here's how it works. You take a slow, deep breath in through your nose for 4 seconds. Then you hold that breath gently for 7 seconds. And finally, you slowly exhale through your mouth for 8 seconds. That's it. Simple, right? The key here is to keep it gentle. You don't need to force the air in or out. Just let it flow naturally, like a soft sigh. This simple breathing exercise helps calm your nervous system, reduce anxiety, and signal to your body that it's time to relax. By focusing on your breath, you shift your mind away from the stress of being awake and into a more peaceful, restful state. Try this for about 4 or 5 cycles. Most people start to feel their body settle after just a few rounds. You might notice your heart rate slowing, your muscles releasing tension, and your mind starting to quiet down. Even if you don't fall asleep right away, you'll feel more at ease. And that's a big step in the right direction. Remember, the goal isn't to force sleep. It's to create a calm, restful environment inside your body and mind. When you stop trying so hard and simply focus on relaxing, sleep often finds its way back naturally. So the next time you wake up in the middle of the night, skip the clock, take a deep breath, and let your body guide you back to rest. 3. The bathroom dilemma. Now, let's tackle another common reason people struggle to fall back asleep. Those middle-of-the-night bathroom trips. You know the feeling. You wake up and think, maybe I need to go to the bathroom. Or maybe I don't. It's tempting to get up just in case, but here's the thing. Unless you really need to go, it's often better to stay in bed. Why? Because every time you go from lying down to sitting up, then standing and walking, your heart rate increases. And, as we've talked about, for your body to ease back into sleep, your heart rate needs to be around 60 beats per minute or lower. So by getting up and moving around, even if it's just a quick trip to the bathroom, you're signaling to your body, hey, it's time to wake up. That makes it harder to settle back down once you're back in bed. Now, don't get me wrong. If you really need to go, by all means, go. Holding it in will just create discomfort and make falling back asleep even more difficult. But if it's just a thought, maybe I should see if I need to pee, try to resist. Chances are, it's just your mind looking for something to do. Here's a simple tip to help with this. Keep a glass of water by your bed. If you wake up feeling a little thirsty, you can take a small sip without even getting up. This might satisfy that restless feeling and help you stay comfortable enough to drift back to sleep. And if you do need to get up, try to minimize stimulation. Keep the lights dim, avoid looking at your phone, and move slowly. The less you disrupt your body's natural state of rest, the easier it will be to fall back asleep when you return to bed. The key here is to avoid unnecessary movement. The more you can stay relaxed and still, the better your chances of slipping back into a peaceful sleep. So the next time you wake up and wonder if you should get up, ask yourself, do I really need to go, or can I stay cozy and let sleep come back to me? 4. Gentle nighttime rituals to improve sleep. Sometimes the key to falling back asleep in the middle of the night starts before your head even hits the pillow. The way you wind down at night can set the stage for deeper, more restful sleep and fewer wake-ups in the middle of the night. Creating simple, calming bedtime rituals signals to your body that it's time to relax, helping you both fall asleep more easily and stay asleep longer. You don't need an elaborate routine. Small changes can make a big difference. For example, dimming the lights about an hour before bed helps your body start producing melatonin, the hormone that regulates sleep. Bright lights, especially from screens like your phone, tablet, or TV, can trick your brain into thinking it's still daytime, making it harder to wind down. Speaking of screens, one of the best things you can do is put your phone away at least 30 minutes before bed. Scrolling through news or social media right before sleep can overstimulate your brain, making it harder to relax. Instead, try reading a book, listening to calming music, or practicing gentle stretching to ease tension in your body. Another powerful tool, journaling. If you often find yourself lying awake with a racing mind, keep a small notebook on your nightstand. Before bed, write down anything that's on your mind, whether it's tomorrow's to-do list, a lingering worry, or just random thoughts that might keep you up later. Getting these thoughts out of your head and onto paper helps clear mental clutter, making it easier to fall and stay asleep. You might also consider adding a relaxing bedtime drink to your routine. A warm cup of herbal tea, like chamomile or peppermint, can soothe your body and mind. Just make sure it's caffeine-free and avoid drinking too much right before bed to minimize those middle-of-the-night bathroom trips. Finally, try to go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, even on weekends. This consistency helps regulate your body's internal clock, making it easier to fall asleep at night and wake up feeling refreshed in the morning. Remember, bedtime rituals aren't about perfection. They're about creating a calm, predictable environment that helps your body recognize when it's time to rest. With a little practice, you'll find the routine that works best for you, setting the stage for deeper, more restful sleep. 5. How diet and lifestyle affect sleep. Now that we've covered nighttime routines, let's talk about something people often overlook: how your diet and daily habits can impact your sleep, especially those wake-ups in the middle of the night. What you eat, drink, and do during the day plays a much bigger role in how well you sleep than you might think. Let's start with caffeine. We all know that a late-night cup of coffee isn't great for sleep, but did you know caffeine can linger in your system for up to 8 hours? That afternoon, coffee, tea, or even a sneaky piece of dark chocolate can affect your ability to stay asleep, even if you had no trouble falling asleep in the first place. So, if you find yourself waking up at 2 or 3 a.m., think back to whether you had any caffeine after lunch. It might be the culprit. Next, let's talk about alcohol. A nightcap might make you feel sleepy at first, but alcohol actually disrupts your sleep cycles. It can cause you to wake up in the middle of the night and make it harder to fall back into deep, restorative sleep. If you enjoy a drink in the evening, try to have it earlier, at least a few hours before bed, and see if that helps reduce those nighttime wake-ups. Now, on to heavy meals. Eating a big, rich, or spicy meal right before bed can cause discomfort, indigestion, or even heartburn, all of which can wake you up in the middle of the night. Aim to finish eating at least 2 to 3 hours before bedtime to give your body time to digest. If you need a snack before bed, go for something light and sleep-friendly, like a banana, a handful of almonds, or a small piece of whole grain toast with peanut butter. Let's not forget about hydration. Drinking too much water right before bed can lead to unnecessary bathroom trips in the middle of the night, while not drinking enough during the day can leave you feeling dehydrated and restless. The trick is to stay well hydrated throughout the day, but taper off your fluids in the evening. A small sip of water before bed is fine, but try to avoid large glasses of water late at night. And here's something you might not expect: sunlight. Getting outside during the day, especially in the morning, helps regulate your body's internal clock, known as your circadian rhythm. Exposure to natural light tells your brain when it's time to be awake and when it's time to sleep. Just 20 minutes of morning sunlight can improve your sleep quality and reduce the chances of waking up in the middle of the night. Finally, physical activity plays a huge role in sleep quality. Regular exercise helps you fall asleep faster and enjoy deeper sleep, but timing matters. Intense workouts late at night can actually make it harder to wind down. Aim to finish vigorous exercise at least a few hours before bedtime, and consider gentle activities like stretching or yoga in the evening to help relax your body. In the end, small adjustments to your diet and lifestyle can make a big difference in your sleep. So if you're struggling with those 3 a.m. wake-ups, take a look at your daytime habits. You might find the key to better sleep starts long before you get into bed. 6. The power of non-sleep deep rest, NSDR. So let's say you've tried the breathing techniques, avoided checking the clock, skipped the unnecessary bathroom trip, and you've got your nighttime routine down, but you're still awake. What now? This is where I want to introduce you to a concept that might completely change the way you think about sleep. It's called non-sleep deep rest, or NSDR. Now, I know that might sound a little technical, but it's really simple and incredibly powerful. NSDR is exactly what it sounds like, a state of deep rest that isn't sleep, but still allows your body and mind to recharge. Think of it as that peaceful in-between state where you're lying quietly, your eyes are closed, your body is relaxed, and your mind is calm, even if you're not fully asleep. And here's the amazing part. Studies have shown that even without actual sleep, this deep rest can still provide significant benefits for your body and brain. In fact, an hour of NSDR can feel almost as restorative as 20-30 minutes of real sleep. So why is this important? Because the more you stress about not being asleep, the harder it becomes to fall asleep. But when you shift your mindset and say to yourself, I'm not asleep, but I'm resting, and that's good enough, you take the pressure off. And often, when that pressure is gone, sleep sneaks back in naturally. Here's how you can practice non-sleep deep rest. Start by lying comfortably in your bed. Close your eyes and take a few slow, deep breaths. Feel the weight of your body sinking into the mattress, the softness of your pillow cradling your head. Let your muscles relax, starting from your toes and working your way up to your shoulders, your neck, and finally your face. If you notice any tension, gently release it with each exhale. Now, let your breath settle into a slow, natural rhythm. You don't need to control it, just observe it. If your mind starts to wander, that's completely normal. You might start thinking about what you have to do tomorrow, or replaying something from earlier in the day. When that happens, gently guide your focus back to your breath or the feeling of your body resting. Think of your thoughts like clouds passing in the sky. They come and go, and you don't need to hold on to them. The key is to embrace this restful state without trying to force anything. Remind yourself, even if I'm not asleep, I'm still giving my body the rest it needs. This simple shift in thinking can make a world of difference. And more often than not, once you've let go of the pressure, sleep will return when your body is ready. But even if it doesn't, that's okay. You're still resting, you're still recharging, and you'll wake up feeling better than you expect. Non-sleep deep rest is a powerful tool, not just for those sleepless nights, but for life in general. It teaches you how to find peace and calm even when things aren't perfect. So the next time you find yourself awake at 3 a.m., don't fight it. Instead, lean into this quiet moment, let your body rest, and trust that sleep will come when it's ready. And even if it doesn't, you'll still wake up knowing you've given yourself the care and rest you deserve. The role of mindset in sleep. Before we wrap up, there's one last but incredibly important piece of the puzzle that ties everything together. And that's your mindset about sleep. We've talked a lot about the physical side of things, how your body temperature shifts at night, how breathing techniques can slow your heart rate, how to avoid unnecessary trips to the bathroom, and how lifestyle choices can impact your rest. But even with all those tools, sometimes the biggest hurdle to falling back asleep isn't physical, it's mental. Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night and before you even have a chance to settle back in, your mind starts racing? You glance at the clock and think, oh no, it's 3 a.m. If I don't fall asleep soon, I'm going to be exhausted tomorrow. And just like that, your heart starts to race, your body tenses up, and suddenly, instead of falling back asleep, you're wide awake and frustrated. Here's the thing. The more you stress about not sleeping, the harder it becomes to actually fall asleep. This is because worry and frustration activate your body's stress response, which makes you more alert. It's like trying to calm down by telling yourself to relax. It just doesn't work. But here's the good news. You can change that with a simple shift in how you think about being awake. Sleep is kind of like love. The more you chase it, the more it runs away. But when you let go, when you stop trying so hard and allow yourself to simply rest, sleep has a funny way of sneaking back in when you least expect it. So the next time you wake up in the middle of the night, instead of thinking, why can't I sleep? I need to sleep right now. Try shifting your mindset to something more gentle and accepting. Say to yourself, I'm awake and that's okay. My body is resting even if I'm not asleep. Just lying there quietly, breathing slowly, and allowing your body to relax is still giving you rest. It's what we talked about earlier with non-sleep deep rest. Even without sleep, your body is healing, recharging, and finding its way back to balance. Another helpful technique is to replace anxious thoughts with gratitude. It might sound simple, but focusing on positive, calming thoughts can have a powerful effect on your mind. If you find yourself spiraling into worry, gently shift your focus by thinking of 3 things you're grateful for. It could be as simple as, I'm grateful for this warm bed, the quiet of the night, and the chance to rest my body. These small, positive shifts can help ease anxiety and create the perfect environment for sleep to return. And if sleep doesn't come right away, that's okay too. The more you practice this mindset of acceptance, the less power those sleepless nights will have over you. You'll wake up feeling calmer, more rested, and confident that you've given your body exactly what it needs, even if it wasn't perfect. At the end of the day, your mind is one of the most powerful tools you have when it comes to sleep. By approaching those wakeful moments with calmness, curiosity, and acceptance, you create the perfect conditions for your body to do what it naturally knows how to do: sleep. So the next time you find yourself awake at 3 a.m., remember, it's not a failure. It's just a moment. And with the right mindset, you'll find your way back to rest. Final thoughts. So the next time you find yourself awake in the middle of the night, don't panic. You know exactly what to do. Skip the clock, slow your breathing, stay cozy in bed, and remind yourself that your body knows how to rest, even if sleep doesn't come right away. Embrace those quiet moments, trust the process, and let your mind and body guide you back to sleep naturally. Remember, it's not about perfection. Everyone wakes up during the night from time to time, but with the right tools and mindset, those wakeful moments don't have to turn into hours of tossing and turning. You've got the techniques: 4-7-8 breathing, gentle nighttime rituals, non-sleep deep rest, and perhaps most importantly, the ability to shift your mindset and take the pressure off. If you found these tips helpful, I'd love for you to join our community. Subscribe to the channel for more advice on living well, resting deeply, and embracing every stage of life. And if you have your own tricks for falling back asleep, share them in the comments below. I'd love to hear what works for you. and you never know who else might benefit from your experience. Sleep is one of the most important gifts we can give ourselves, and with a little patience and practice, you'll find the peaceful rest you deserve. Until next time, sleep well, take care of yourself, and remember, you're not alone on this journey.